Oh, it's okay. Okay. Senator Vigaris,
Present.
Senator Holman, Senator Elias,
Here.
Senator Ostroff, Senator Robles,
Here.
Senator Okafor,
Here.
Senator Richardson,
Here.
Senator Kirkby,
Here.
Senator Templeton, Senator Kanko,
Here.
Senator Okiki,
Here.
Senator Rowling,
Here.
Senator Schwartz,
Here.
Senator Ossienko,
Here.
Senator Reed,
Present.
Senator Moncada,
Here.
Senator Ahmad, Senator Seppi, Senator Bennett,
Here.
Senator Modes, Senator Ajakobi,
Here.
Senator Page,
Here.
Senator Romero,
Here.
Senator Roach,
Here.
Senator Carranza,
Here.
Vargas,
I'm here.
Senator Kajat,
Present.
Senator John,
Here.
Chief Justice Matter.
Here. I'm here.
Okay, with that, we're gonna move on. Is there anyone here for open forum? Seeing none, we're gonna move on. We do not have a speaker for speaker's podium this week, so we're gonna move straight into office reports. Richard's not here, so we're gonna start with me. Vice President Carnes,
We don't have any minutes for the special session, correct?
correct.
Yep. We had to approve the one before that?
We already approved the ones before that. We approved it.
At the special
Yeah.
session.
There's no minutes to approve. What I've been working on, like I said, I believe I mentioned it, I got elected to be the chair of the Student Advisory Engagement Committee. So just looking at how to get more people on campus involved. Met with Josh to see what that looks like, getting that kind of started. And also finishing up stuff from homecoming, making sure everything was okay for midnight breakfast. And we'll talk a little bit more about midnight breakfast later on, but that's it for me.
Secretary Henry, so I made posts for the midnight breakfast, recap on the Instagram. I've been responding to the M's, posting some stuff on, reposting things from Instagram. There should be someone here from Anchor Games to drop off some labors, for us to sign, so as soon as I get those from her, I'll get those out to people who are going to be at Anchor Games, and we can, sign those, make sure those are all sent off and set. Someone reached out to me, a fraternity reached out to the SGA Instagram, trying to figure out how to get on campus. So I referred them to the head of Group Life, because I can't do anything about that. So just want to let y'all know that people are reaching out to SGA for various reasons, and I'm redirecting them to the right people. And we did take minutes last meeting for our special session, so there were minutes to send out for as the chair drive, and yeah.
For the repeaters, we've had 2 SJC hearings since, we have like a normal meeting, so that's mostly what I've been doing. And working on this.
Chief of Staff Chandler, pretty much the same as everyone else. Homecoming was crazy. The attendance was wild, but midnight breakfast went well, obviously, we'll talk about that later. As far as rules committee goes, I'll report for them, because we didn't talk about this before, but just been getting ready for our meeting this week. We have a lot of fun little changes that we might be doing, to the house rules, because we looked at them a while ago, and, yeah, I'll talk about that more later, but house rules are being kept in mind.
Okay, moving on to community reports, events community now, report, me this week is, we just came off of midnight breakfast, just taking a little chill break after homecoming. Okay.
Communications committee did not meet, however, I worked on, had a flyer previously prepared for the ESC event that is gonna be taking place this fall in April, so I'll be posting that.
For SJC, so week of spring break, we approved logos student senate. For $491 for John Sale, just tomorrow. Then we also met with the social work club and approved $300 for their talk about self-care event. And so,
Rules committee, like I said, I'll go ahead and report for it. Our team has brought up some really interesting, pretty simple things. For the most part, there's two things in the house rules that were like, okay, I think we really want to change that. One, for example, being the 10-minute limit of conversation. Since in our house rules, it does say that if we go over 15 minutes in a discussion, we need to vote to extend that time. And so we're looking at just extending that time in the house rules right now. Again, that's not something that, this is not a discussion, but just kind of letting you guys know we're looking at that. There's also a couple other things that we've been looking at, but it's about 5 different things in the house rules. That by tomorrow we will have set in stone. We'll be sending it obviously to you guys, towards the end of the semester to get it approved. And then sent off to Josh and Mona as well.
Yes.
We didn't meet last week, because I'm at conference, but we're gonna meet tomorrow, and we'll probably just discuss the, recycled media.
Moving on to voice reports, we, for this week, we have student body at large. First we have freshmen.
So today I had a meeting with the education and psychology deans. I kind of just talked about my experience as freshman, voiced some issues like advising and other resources that we need, like setting up our resumes. So hopefully they'll be putting that into consideration for the future. And then also I talked to the class dean, and there's a higher writing center use among the freshmen. So that's it's being used, I guess, more writing. And I talked to the College of Business dean, and he mentioned the freshman orientation course would not be happening in the spring this year, but also they just have like a really low freshman count, so there wasn't really much information.
I believe she's our only freshman senator, moving on to sophomore.
So I talked to some of the sophomores, and the main concern or main issue they have, sophomores looking like juniors next year, is housing. A lot of sophomores are unable to get housing, or they were on the list, the wait list, but they got pushed back and they had to like wait. And they're part of the next 100 students that are able to apply, but only for the foundry. And some of the students found that unfair. So they're voicing those concerns, and I referred like them to the dean of students and hopefully get that figured out, with a lot of concerns about off-campus housing. But they just sent out that email yesterday saying that they have more off-campus housing options besides Grande Village. So yeah, that's.
I don't think any of our senior, seniors are here. So we're gonna move on to senior, I mean.
Senator Bennett, student body at large, so for our graduating seniors, I just wanted to clarify with, graduation, if you have stoles, make sure that they are, either provided by the university, either through the bookstore or through Jostens, or by a department student organization that is recognized here on campus, or through one of the vendors that's listed through student engagement. Josh sent out an email not too long ago about the specifics with that. And also for any senior that has not met with their career success coach yet this year, highly recommend doing that before you leave, just to make sure that you have all your bases covered.
If you want an official number, what we're starting out with, it's. They haven't really a lot of information about saying it's fifty bucks somebody. It comes out next week.
Okay. Since we don't, I think always our only senior senator, and seeing we don't have any graduate senators, we're gonna keep on moving. Does anyone have anything for old business? Moving on, this, what, moving on to new business, I entertain a motion to talk about midnight breakfast.
Carries the motion, seconded.
Perfect. I'll start off, our final total for midnight breakfast, the Rumble please. 839. So, round of applause to everyone who helped out, it went really well. Great midnight breakfast, we got a lot of compliments. Overall, people really like the French toast that, me and Vince Queenie came up with, they really liked that. From the pro staff side, they were saying that it was really smooth, operated very well. They said it was one of the smoothest, the best midnight breakfast to date. And we are on track to hopefully getting that #1 spot. Once we get to that end of the year, we can find out what all the other events and numbers were to see if we finally got that #1 event on campus. So stay tuned for that. But other than that, how did y'all feel about midnight breakfast?
Senator Okafor, I was talking to my boss earlier today and she said that she heard that the midnight breakfast was pretty good and that it was the best she's seen in her 10 years of being here.
Senator Ajabovi, I was gonna say that from the stand that I ran with the bottles that everyone seemed to really like it. Like it sold out fast, like everyone just got that. So everyone really liked midnight breakfast from my perspective and the people that I got to interact with. So yeah, it was a success.
I liked it over acceptance. I guess it's my first year actually attending. And I like that we've caught on to the idea of getting more stuff, we didn't run out of the stuff recruiters ASAP with the shirts, I felt like getting more, I know it's more expensive, but I feel like it's an event, but it's worth the money. It was nice to be able to see oh, there's still stuff available while we're actually 30 minutes in.
The best part of this event being so big, consistently year after year, that means we get more money, more orders, or putting more money into it. I think that's the best part, because you see they went from about 500 stock critters to 1,000. And we get almost 1,000 people to come out to midnight breakfast. And so they have put towards putting a lot of more stuff towards so people can get a stock critter. Then also with us buying more t-shirts. I was right by the t-shirt area and people were sprinting to that room. It was a little chaotic. If this was your first midnight breakfast, when we say people will be fighting for t-shirts, they do. Also about the water bottles, props to Gage from campus activities, because everyone really liked the water bottles, the sticker idea. I think it was a great idea and hopefully we can keep it going. But was there anything that wasn't good about midnight breakfast? Was there anything that you think we need to improve on, anything bad?
Senator Okafor, I just feel like we need an event that like is around the whole time, because after you run and get a stuffed critter, eat at the Met, grab a t-shirt. What else really is there to do?
Even mine, yes.
Piggyback off that, we can maybe look to that the first Friday event there in the University Center as inspiration. They have the bingo going on, they got the trivia going on. And there's another one that I'm forgetting about that's going on all at the same time, and it's going the entire time. So we would look at something like that in addition to the line dancing and karaoke.
Or a raffle.
That's a good idea, good idea.
The esports team will typically host tournaments at like First Friday and stuff, and normally that brings some higher value prizes, and that always draws a ton of people. But we'd have to look at partnering with them to get that done.
I think since this is my last one, it was really good, but I wonder if we could start, and this is a big thing, I feel like even my freshman year, we didn't have it, but everybody knew about it, if you started advertising it more to alumni. If it's something I'll remember, like, ever, because it was like, oh, my school did midnight breakfast, I think that would be a cool little tradition, if you like advertise it to alumni to come as well. Maybe.
Those are some great ideas, by the way. There's a run point where midnight breakfast is amazing as is, and like Victoria said, people are wanting a little bit more. And we're at a perfect spot with midnight breakfast to build upon it, make it bigger and better. That's the goal with this event, is each year it's getting bigger and better. We should make it. Because everyone really loves it. I talked to a lot of students about what they were excited for midnight breakfast. Oh, excited for homecoming, my bad. What they were excited for homecoming, and they said midnight breakfast quite a lot, especially when it came to like upperclassmen, people who've been here for a while. They generally say midnight breakfast, because we're one of the biggest traditions here on campus, especially during homecoming or Patriot Days in the fall. Those are the things that people look towards the most. If you notice, like on Instagram and stuff like that, midnight breakfast is really not that advertised too much, and yet we still get a humongous turnout. Versus like other people who advertise a lot, to get okay numbers versus us barely doing anything. Just it's on the schedule, and almost 800 people show up every time. That's how you know you have a very big tradition on campus, because we don't have to do that much when it comes to advertising. I mean, that's how we know we're doing a good job when it comes to this event, is people keep coming back over and over, wanting a t-shirt, wanting to eat at the Met at 11 o'clock at night, to get a stuffed critter, to do some line dancing. There's a lot of people love midnight breakfast entire, whatever part it may be. It's a really great event that we do. Does anyone have, yes, Robert?
How much did it end up costing us, including the t-shirts?
Including the t-shirts.
Are you asking as far as what also like other, like what student engagement put in as well, or just SGA?
Just SGA.
You are one controller, do you have an answer?
I do not, because we need to assemble like all the receipts that we purchased, so that might take, because I don't think we have. For food, that's the good one.
I know what we paid for food. This semester, Alma did pick up some of our bill, a good chunk of it. She put towards $4,000, but we covered the rest. I'm trying to find the exact number in the spreadsheet. We all together, we spent $6,150 for midnight breakfast, food alone. Oma paid for 4,000 of that, and we paid for the rest.
So in total, we spent 6,000 on the night breakfast, on 1,000, so we spent about 2,500, I would say is the estimate. With our SGA.
We only bought t-shirts and food. Everything else was another department. Stuffed critters, that's the university center. All the little games that people are put on, they do that all by themselves. I think it was a really good turnout. Yes.
Senator Richardson, this may not be immediately available. How much did we spend last year or last semester, I suppose?
Around 6,000.
And that's
because-
just from us, not shared with anybody else.
yeah, for the food, for the t-shirts. Those numbers clearly got it. I got the food numbers. Yes, I have.
Center page, I will say, like, I think the more, even though it is Wednesday, it's the middle of the week, the more we lean into this being like the kickoff for homecoming, because especially this year, there wasn't really anything Monday, Tuesday. We have the UC celebration Wednesday,
That was the,
but was that Thursday?
the barbecue kickoff was Wednesday.
Oh, that, but like, I think the more we lean into this being the event to kind of kick off, because, I mean, from midnight breakfast, we roll events all day, every day, Thursday, Friday, even into Saturday for alumni events. I think like we'll draw in more people and we're really pushing out a lot, we're bringing in a lot for the budget we're given. We're not spending really all that much for the benefit we get out of it.
I know like I've met with Gage, activity coordinator, and he's set up the schedule. Wednesday was the kickoff for this semester.
Yes,
Monday and Tuesday were kind of a easygoing day versus the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there was something going on almost all day. Wednesday being the barbecue kickoff, then midnight breakfast, Thursday being the UC celebration, the Met Gala, Friday Fest, even though the good thing we got canceled because of the rain, it's okay. It's still a huge success. Then there was Saturday with the kickoff, the office boil and the softball game. Then I think on Tuesday there was bingo. I don't remember what else was on Tuesday.
also on, Friday was the 40 under 40, which was faculty, staff, and certain alumni. And then Saturday was the alumni bash, which was the huge part of it.
How far out do y'all know the schedule for that?
Jimmy Camp's activities, starts telling people, towards the beginning of the semester, he generally started finding it during the fall, then gives us like a brief outline of what the schedule looks like. Early spring semester, then they just start plugging holes during time slots.
That's it, cause I had seen your pictures on Saturday, and like I couldn't go to the calendar and really love my calendars. Like if, I guess the seniors could ask a general idea if they are taking pictures with her, so it's kind of like, it's sad I can't see them there, but.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, concerns about midnight breakfast? Kind of talked about a little bit about homecoming as well.
I would like to say that with the scenario elections coming up, a lot of people give a lot of good like ideas, like having more events going on during midnight breakfast and stuff like that. And so I think that something important to think about is that if you want more stuff internally, you have to have more people to work internally. And so we have student orgs there to have tables, but if you want to have raffles, if you want to have different things going on, pie in the face, you have to have senators to run those stations. And so I would just say with the scenario elections coming up, like tell your friends like, hey, get the position, be a senator for SGA. Because it helps us do more things during the semester with SGA, because less people have done less stuff we can do, because people have different schedules. And so if everyone's a bio major, the majority of everybody is busy on this weekend, like that's our whole team. So the more people we have, the more flexible we can be, and just let that be a fire under your feet to get more people to be senators.
Just to go off that real quick, like everyone sitting here is doing a great job, like you guys are here. But it's just like to get the people around you to also join, but like you guys are the leaders, so you're here.
Senator, this is tangentially related to midnight breakfast, but how many senator seats do we have open like currently, if we have any? Just curious.
Okay, you already, I would like to say that that's not.
Yeah.
It is,
Us,
We can talk about that.
that's fine.
but is there anything else for midnight breakfast related? Okay, I entertain a motion.
Oh. Sorry, Senator Holman. So there was a little bit of miscommunication. I don't know if this was brought up, it may have been brought up previously, but we were told that like prior years that we served turkey sausage But then at midnight breakfast, for those of us working in the Met, we were told that it was pork sausage. But we were given 2 vegan options and we would have to run to the back. And so that was like a little bit confusing. And some students that wanted like the turkey bacon or the vegan option didn't want it because it took so long for them to get it. So I don't know if we actually served pork sausage, but we were told last year that it was turkey sausage. So I don't know if that was a little bit conflicting, maybe a little bit better communication on that just in the future so we can avoid that problem.
Just for clarification, like you said, we had turkey bacon and pork sausage this semester, is that what you're saying?
Yes, it was pork sausage, turkey, and then we had turkey bacon as an alternative that we could get to from the back for the students, and we had vegan sausage. But we were told previous semesters that it was turkey sausage, not pork sausage.
Okay.
So there's a miscommunication there. I don't really know what it is at this point, but
I know they did add some signage, like on TVs of what the options were, to kind of help.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was a suggestion that the events committee suggested. I'm glad that they had that option, show all the options on the TV. I think that really helped. Then we can just better communication about that in the future. But is there anything else? Anyone on Zoom? Okay, I entertain a motion to close discussion.
Harry said motion. Seconded.
Perfect.
I entertain a motion to discuss the athletic fee referendum results.
Harry said motion. Seconded.
So I just want to ask y'all, like, if y'all have any opinions on the results, or if you have any opinions on our role or the university's role in this.
To note that it did pass. It passed by a slim, because it was pretty close. Just,
Senator Okafor, I was talking to a few people about it, and some of their concerns were that they did see the signs, but they didn't have time to like open the QR code, so they didn't know exactly what they were voting for. So.
So there was a lot of signage and a lot of stuff done to get out the word that there is an athletic referendum. I would like to request that SGA bring in, administration to get the full, amount, or at least find out what amount that the university paid for marketing for this athletic referendum.
Senator Schwartz, I know speaking as an athlete, we all really appreciate everybody voting, no matter whether you voted yes, no. I think there was I know there was a lot of talk about how athletics uses our money, and if you believe this or don't, we are very stingy with our money. We have a tight budget. So this helps a lot. We really want other organizations to have more money because a lot of us are involved with other organizations. So I think it was really important for us that we got the word out and tried our best to help y'all understand what it was going to.
some page.
Senator Page, I agree with Robert on bringing administration in. I think our biggest issue is going to be misinformation, especially now that it passed. That is both for us and for the student body. So, you know, if there are any questions that we're getting from our constituents, I think we need to be certain on what we're telling them and not, oh, I'm pretty sure it works like this.
Wouldn't that have been done before? We weren't in charge of informing the students.
I know,
that
but
athletic department-
passing the information on now, because we're still gonna get questions. So we don't wanna go out and be putting out bad information again, if they're already coming to us with bad information.
Secretary Henry, I think with our vote to remain neutral and out of it, it kind of covers us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as far as Senator Bennett wanting to know more information, I probably, it wouldn't even be on behalf of us to speak on behalf of administration, because that puts us in an awkward position. If you choose to do that, don't speak on behalf of SGA, because that wasn't our responsibility. But it's nothing wrong with being more informed. I think we all deserve to know, as far as students and students that speak on behalf of the student body, what's actually going on. So I think it would be a great idea to have them come to speak. But it wouldn't be in regards to us having the responsibilities to regurgitate that information back out to the student body. So.
Is,
No, athletic, we could, ask them to inform the students.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like, we voted on in that meeting that it is the university's job to
Yes.
inform and educate them. So we can, in our own personal ways, can tell people about it. Kind of what I've been doing is kind of, because people have a lot of questions about it, just gotta answer the questions to the best of your knowledge.
But we're not in the hot seat. We're
Yeah.
not, we're not responsible or anything like that. We just put it on the ballot.
Yeah.
Since
Senator Schwartz, can I ask what exactly y'all are wanting to be informed about? So I can go back to.
So I would, with,
that's all,
Senator Page, I just wanna make the point that like. We're under no obligation, but we're still gonna get questions, so if you're gonna answer those questions,
Being informed.
be correct. Yeah. Robert, I think.
My main question is just how much did the university with marketing athletics as a whole, did they spend on marketing for the athletic fee referendum? Because there was a lot done this year.
Was there ever a cap? Like, were they allowed to spend or they were?
so can you say your question again?
Was there a cap on how much they could spend? Because if there wasn't, I mean,
If there wasn't,
I
there's
think,
still,
I
still
think what
gonna.
Robert is wanting is like where they got that money from. And, like, I think that's kind of like, we're kind of.
Going a bit too far, but okay. Sure, why not? I just want to know how much.
Is there any other? Any other comments?
how was this information released to the students? Because I haven't seen anything but passing. I knew on SGA.
Yeah,
Okay, because I knew Friday, whenever we looked at all, I mean, I think there was like 170 people that voted, and like we saw the results and everything, but like. I don't think we're in charge of putting it out, but I think it'd be a good idea to tell athletics, you guys should probably inform everybody that passed.
because,
Yeah, I didn't see the turnout of it.
Yeah.
because to see how it passed or not, you have to go to the SGA website, click on the elections and.
I personally think that's too much.
That's not like, I think we should have athletics post something and say, hey, it passed,
Yeah.
and go to your votes or something.
Robert, is there anything?
Just saying, in the previous, in the past, we have posted on the results of a referendum that we had last time around.
We talked about it in me and Josh, we said that we weren't gonna post them. We said that we took athletics.
Wait,
Uh,
what? Can you all repeat that conversation I think about? I didn't.
Never mind, I guess, I don't know.
Josh said we weren't responsible for posting the results.
Right,
And, yeah.
I think in general, if we were voted to remain neutral, we would post about during the election time or afterwards. I think the only we were supposed to be posting, if anything, was the results of our SGA e-board elections.
Yeah.
So, that's.
I mean, Senator Page, in the future, I think even though we are holding neutrality, I think posting the results is still beneficial. Because we're not posting for or against it, just. It passed, didn't pass.
Josh did.
Yeah, that is Josh.
since Josh said, it's not our responsibility, I think it's.
I was gonna say, I think it's more administration responsibility to let the student body know what happened, how it's turning out. But I don't think they did a good job of letting us know what happened.
Cause it's already Tuesday, I expected them to post something
Yesterday.
yesterday. But like, the public are probably waiting for later this week or something. We can only speculate, but is there any other, how much we're concerned about this topic?
When will our e-board stuff be posted?
As soon as I was open to go ahead and go forward, because I know we still have some positions open. So I don't know how we're moving forward with that.
Have we talked about like?
This is off topic.
We can figure it out later. But is there anything else for this topic? I entertain a motion to close discussion. Moving on to advisory comments, he's not here. I entertain a motion to close today's meeting. Or how, adjourn the meeting.
You have to close this session.
Oh, wait,
business.
sorry, this is my first time. Kirsten,
I'm sorry.
all over the place. I entertain a motion to close discussion on new business. Okay, now to advisory comments, who's not here? announcements, we have Anchor Games on April 12th. Please come out to support our game. Then we have our SGA service event from 9 to 3. Those are required events. We're trying to get that absence request in. Does anyone have any more announcements?
I have two. First one, obviously, Logos is having Dynasty tomorrow. If you would like to attend, I would greatly appreciate that, but also you would have a lot of fun. First hour is pre-signed up, talents ranging from like solving Rubik's Cube really quickly to singing to dancing, things like that. That's the first hour, and then you vote as well. And then second hour is open mic and raffle. So if that's something that you're interested in, or maybe you didn't get to sing at karaoke at Midnight Breakfast, this could be your chance. So if you wanted to do that, definitely do that. Second announcement, I know we talked about Gage earlier, the head of campus activities, Gage Dickinson. Keep him in your mind, thoughts, prayers, because he did kind of throw out his back because he was working so hard. So he's taking the week off to kind of recover. So if you see him, next week or whenever, just say like, hope you're doing good, check in with him, see if he's okay. Because he did work really hard to get everything to roll smoothly. So, and he did help us with Midnight Breakfast as well.
Yeah. Is there any other announcements?
It's really quick. UT Tyler Admissions is hiring a college readiness coach, and I sent it out in the group meet. It's on handshake.com. So it's a really great job. It's super fun. It's like, it's yeah, this is really good. Lots of great benefits. You get to talk to students.
To add on to that, you get a really good scholarship. You get paid hourly and for mileage. Just found that out there.
The girl from our coach for Anchor Game, she's like coming to her work. I told her to meet me in the HBC because I told her we our meeting at 6:30 for getting early. So I'll be in the SGA office tomorrow. If y'all want to come by and grab the waiver, sign it, that would be great. I'll just let y'all know when I'll have the waivers on me.
Can we reiterate the dates for senator elections?
Sign up for senator elections closed on this Friday. Then the election will open that Wednesday at midnight and close on Friday at 5. For the exact dates, let me look at the calendar. So that's gonna be April 3rd, that Wednesday, opening up at midnight. Then Friday, the April 5th, closing at 5 p.m. Anything else? Now I motion to carry set or I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Harry said motion.
Woo-hoo, adjourn.
I don't know if y'all noticed the chat, but Jacqueline asked if that job opportunity was available for the Houston campus or if it was only for the Tyler campus. I know that we said it'd work from distances, so I don't know if they'd be able to, but
Probably not.
Only for Tyler,
It's only for Tyler. So sorry.
unless they want to drive 4 hours.
okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure that we recognize that.
They measure it from the campus to the school, not from the.
You're good.
Yeah.